Countdown 2,979 Days to the Moon. Written by Suzanne Slade. Illustrated by Thomas Gonzalez.
Hey, Timpanogos Middle. I just wanted to take a minute or two to tell you why I picked this book to be read in homeroom. I was told it couldn't be a picture book, sorry about that, and that it should have a resiliency theme. So, first, why is resiliency so important? Life is hard. It's beautiful and hard. Some of us get the opportunity to practice resiliency while we're young. Lucky, right? Depends on how you choose to look at it. The things we go through to practice resiliency are hard, sad, and overwhelming. The truth is, the more experience we have bouncing back, the better we get at it. The more we start to realize that hard things come and we can get through them, the more we can look at hard things as opportunities. Next, I want you to know that pushing through difficult times has led me to the most amazing experiences and opportunities. Rarely have the easy things I've accomplished been life-changing. The hard things, those are the things that change the course of my life. It starts with deciding to try. At your age, my life was pretty difficult and my family was falling apart. But I knew I wanted to make a difference in this world. I wanted to help kids like me get through school so they could have opportunities. To do that, I knew I had to graduate and go to college. There were a lot of opportunities for me to quit because it was too hard. But I'm so glad that I didn't. If I'd quit, I wouldn't get to know each of you. The truth is, knowing each of you has changed my life for the better. No, you're not going to the moon today, but maybe your goal is to be someone that one day can. The first step is doing the work to graduate high school so that you can have the opportunity to do anything you want. The truth is, you're going to go through hard times. But I would like to remind you, greatness comes from not giving up. Adjust and never lose sight of your dreams. The 400,000 men and women responsible for putting a man on the moon spent 16.5 school years working on that goal. They failed many times, and people lost their lives in the process. What if they just said, "That's it, it isn't worth it"? The things they learned from each mission leading up to Apollo 11 changed our space program for the better and advanced technology so rapidly that some estimate we are 10 years ahead of where we would have been in terms of technology. You most certainly wouldn't have those iPads, and your teachers would be lucky to be carrying around a BlackBerry cell phone. So, the moral of the story? Everything you fight through, overcome, and accomplish has an impact. Not only do you owe it to yourself, but who knows who's counting on your accomplishments in the future. Love, Mrs. Jarvie.
Chapter 1. A Daring Dream. At first, it's only a dream, an ambitious, outrageous idea. The dream seems so big, so impossible, that few people dare to say it out loud. Until one day, May 25th, 1961, one man, President John F. Kennedy, bravely announces the dream to the world. Quote, "I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth." Close quote. But how can someone soar all the way to the moon, 240,000 miles through space? America knows the answer. Teamwork. Thousands of engineers, technicians, mathematicians, scientists, and machinists working on engines, computers, and airplanes joined Project Apollo, a new space program with one objective: land a man on the moon and bring him safely home. But America isn't the only country with an outrageous dream. The Soviet Union has its own plan to put the very first man on the moon. Determined to win this space race, the Apollo team begins their Herculean task: designing, building, and testing 4 new crafts, each with its own important role that must work flawlessly together. The command module will carry the crew to the moon and back. The service module will provide electricity, oxygen, and other supplies. The lunar module will land on the moon and provide a home there. And the mighty Saturn rocket must launch the entire mission into space. The president watches and waits. His end-of-the-decade deadline seems a long time away. But for this lofty dream, man's first moon landing, it isn't much time at all. Still, Kennedy believes in his country and teamwork. So does the smiling Texas crowd, waving wildly during a motorcade parade on a sunny fall day, November 22nd, 1963. Suddenly, an assassin takes aim. In an instant, the brave voice is silenced, the visionary gone. But the dream remains in hopeful hearts, now more important than ever, and America's quest for the moon continues to honor their beloved leader, to help a hurting nation, to prove that violence doesn't destroy dreams. Quote, "It will not be one man going to the moon, it will be an entire nation, for all of us must work to put him there." Close quote. President John F. Kennedy, May 25th, 1961.
The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not, ladies and gentlemen. It is one of the great adventures of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Well, space is there, and we're going to climb it, and the moon and the planets are there. New hopes for knowledge and peace are there, and therefore as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the greatest adventure. We choose to go to the moon, investigate and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. We choose to go to the moon, investigate and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Do it right and do it first, and to become the world's leading spacefaring nation. Why some say the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why fly the Atlantic? Why climb the highest mountain? Why? We must be bold. Rocket engines and television, we must be bold. Nuclear power, penicillin, automobiles. This country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested. We choose to go to the moon, investigate and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. We choose to go to the moon, investigate and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Do it right and do it first, and to become the world's leading spacefaring nation. All this costs a good deal of money, more than 50 cents a week. 50 cents a week, for we do not now know what benefits await us. 10,000 automobiles, the skins of animals. But it will be done, and it will be done before the end of this decade. We choose to go to the moon, investigate and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. We choose to go to the moon, investigate and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Do it right and do it first, and to become the world's leading spacefaring nation.